Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you live from Whitefish, Montana. And it is Monday night, therefore it is Make-Along, no it's not, it's Mystery Make-Along Monday. Lots of M's in there. So I sent out an email this weekend for you to be able to prep your projects, and I posted it here on Facebook. If you are watching on YouTube and you want to start getting an email with the ingredients and the suggested supplies, then please go ahead and email me at junebugcreations29@gmail.com. Wow, it's Monday. I've been awake for a long time. Time to wake up. All right, so email me at junebugcreations29@gmail.com if you want to get on the email list for the Mystery Make-Along. I send out a picture with the ingredients that I'm using and then some suggested other supplies that you can use or that you could find, sometimes some sizes to give you an idea of size images for your stamps and sentiments and things like that. So if you want that, you can go ahead and do that, or you can find me over here on Facebook at Junebug Creations 29, and then you will see that picture there as well. And I think it also posts on Instagram, which is also Junebug Creations 29. You might be saying, why is it the 29? Well, because just Junebug Creations was not available. 29 is my favorite number, or one of my favorite numbers, and so I picked Junebug Creations 29. So there you have it, and now everything is Junebug Creations 29 to kind of keep it the same, except for my website, which is junebug-creations.com, because Junebug Creations was taken. What can you do? All right, hello Joanne, nice to see you on here. Hi Missy, great to have you on here. I trust you are making along. If not, maybe next time. We shall see. But let's go ahead and get started and go over the materials that we have here. So we have some linen thread. This was not in the picture, but I did mention it in the verbiage up above. And then I have crumb cake here at 4 1/4 by 11. Scored at 5 1/2, and of course you could have whatever color cardstock that you want to use. You don't have to use the same colors and DSP that I was using. All right, and then we have a piece of black cardstock, and that is cut at 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. We have an inside layer of 4 by 5 1/4, and this is for the inside of our card. This is a light color card, and you could just write on the inside. I don't do that anymore. I used to if it was light colored, but I don't anymore. I always put either very vanilla or a basic white inside for writing on. Sometimes I'll use a light color specifically just to alter it, but typically I do put one or the other. So this will be going inside here. This will be going on top here, and then we have your DSP, and I trust that you found one that you could color. We had a couple different kinds, or you may have something in your stash from the past where you could color it. I don't know if I specifically said that, but you saw coloring tools here, so I'm hoping you got that. I probably should learn to be more specific about that. This is cut at 3 3/4 by 5. I'm looking at my measurements to make sure. All right, and it will be going here on the top. All right, so this is a technique called spotlighting technique, and I did learn of it. I've seen it numerous different times. I've never tried it before. I'm doing it now, but I recently saw it from Jackie Bolhuis, and thought, you know what, it is time. I have seen this done a bunch of different times. I've just never done it, and I thought, you know, this would be a perfect thing to do for the make-along. The other thing is we have our envelope, and I used very vanilla since everything was kind of along those lines. And what I didn't have on there, but I did put above, I think in the verbiage, is some sort of strip of paper for your sentiment. And I forgot to check and see which sentiment I had that would fit that. I think I need to find one that I think I'm going to use one out of the Sending Smiles. Yeah, because it's long and thin. So that's the nice thing when you have these, and I'm just going to be putting it right there, and I'm going to use, ooh, I'm not sure what I'm going to use. We'll see. I might use a different sentiment. I have to think. I meant to do that before I did this. Whoop. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, I should have done that. I might have to do my sentiment later when I can find something that will fit. Because right now I'm not seeing it and I forgot to do that. That was not very good. The other thing you want is either a circle or a square or an oval, some sort of shape that you can cut out. And this is about 3 inches. This is 3 by 3, so you could do a 3-inch circle, you could do a 3 by 3 square. If you have a rectangle that's not too big, because we're just going to be cutting out a piece of it here. You know, this might not go on the front. We'll see. And then I have some coloring tools. So these colors are retiring. This is the Polished Pink and the Rich Raspberry. And then these are some of our in colors, the Parakeet Party and the Tahitian Tide. So we're not going to cut yet. The first thing we're going to, or the color yet, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to cut out a part of it. All right. And on Jackie's tutorial, I just looked at the picture. I haven't even read the instructions. I'm just kind of going rogue. So she may or may not have said to do what I'm doing or the way I'm doing it, but this is how I'm doing it, and this is how I'm showing you that I'm doing it. So I'm going to just cut this right here. That looks a little big. Well, we'll just go with it. It's gonna look good no matter what. But I'm thinking there may not be a sentiment on the front of this card. The sentiment may just be on the inside, which, in case you weren't aware, you don't have to always have a sentiment on the front. You can just have a sentiment on the inside. When the card is sometimes just too beautiful and really no space and it just doesn't feel right to have a sentiment on the front, I don't put one. So now we have this cut out of here like that. All right, I'm gonna set this aside, grab my scratch paper. I see some conversations going on. Let's see what y'all have to say. Joanne, not making tonight, was going to bowl, but at last minute couldn't. Oh, I trust you're okay, that you're not bowling, that you're feeling okay and not sick or anything. All right, so let's go ahead and zoom in. And where's my zoom? Here we go, so you can see. So we're going to set this aside and we're just going to color this, and I'm going to have to put my light on here so that I can see. So I'm going to start with just coloring everything that's in here. So I'm going to start with the leaves because those are nice and easy. And I always start with the darker color. We're going to use the bullet end and just go over the lines that are already there with the dark. All right, and that's how I learned to use these, is to just use the artist's work instead of adding my own. Because I am a crafter, I don't consider myself an artist, I am a crafter, so I don't want to have to think about which direction the light is coming from, so I just like to use what the artist has already done. So I just go over the lines where there's some darkness, and that way it's all done for me. I don't have to think about it. Here we go. All right, so how many of you have used Stampin' Blends and like them? I like the Stampin' Blends. So this looks like a leaf here. I'm just going to go ahead and color that because it's hardly anything. And then I'm going to come back in with the, or come in with the light, and now I'm going to blend these colors together in a circular motion. All right. Here we go. And then just stay in your lines and make sure you have scratch paper underneath because this will bleed through. All right, so you want to make sure that you have this protected, your surface protected. All right, and I'm just going to keep turning this. I like to just turn my paper instead of worrying about where my hand is going. So here we go. Now this paper, this DSP that I'm coloring is Abigail Rose, and it is retiring. I don't know if it's sold out or not. I think I checked the other day and it wasn't. I think this was the one I checked on, so it may still be available. You can always go to the online store and check it out. It's a beautiful paper. It's the same pattern that is on the hoodie. So the hoodie, as far as I know, is not changing. It's staying the same. So I have not yet colored my second one. I haven't figured out which markers to use for coloring that. All right, so my leaves are done. Now I'm going to just take my Tahitian Tide, and I think I'm just going to use the dark, and I'm going to do these itty bitty flowers in the Tahitian Tide. You know how sometimes you get those purple or bluish flowers in your bouquets? All right, so Joanne, you are okay, good. Missy is just watching. She loves the Stampin' Blends. Joanne loves the Stampin' Blends. Hello, Janet. So great to have you on here. You love your Stampin' Blends too? Yeah, aren't they amazing? I just love coloring with them. Missy says she had a piece of the Abigail Rose in her paper share. Yes, yes. Speaking of paper shares, that's what I was working on today. And they will be in with the catalogs that I mail out tomorrow. Finally, I know it's been a lot of work. You want to know why it's been a lot of work? Look what everyone's getting. So here is like a long bookmark with all the color refresh, and then an in color bookmark as well with a little bit of ribbon on top. So yeah, I had to cut that up and glue them down and cut them up and put it all together. It's been taking me a little while because I had to wait on my product to be able to do it, right? So I got my new order last week, and then I was able to get to work. And then we had, of course, a birthday in the family over the weekend. Kitar turned 19. I'm not old enough for a 19-year-old. I'm more than old enough for a 19-year-old. But anyways, it was kind of bittersweet in a way, just, you know, my baby turning 19. I'm sure a lot of you feel the same when your kids get older. So, and this will probably be one of the last birthdays we have him home because he'll be off to college. And then who knows, because his birthday's in spring in the middle of the school year. So it's not like he can come home, but we could always surprise him, right? All right, so now I want to do the larger flowers in the polished pink. So let's see, we'll do the little flowers with the rich raspberry. Let's see, how dark is this? It's pretty dark. I think that'll be okay. I'm just going to do the center of these and then just do a couple lines. Not too much because it is so dark. I'm just kind of doing some dots. All right, going around there, just doing some dots to give it a little bit of definition. And then I will come in and use the lighter one, which I have a feeling is not all that super light. Yeah, it's not super light. So we'll come around and do this. I feel like I have an eye appointment tomorrow. I feel like I might be getting close to having to wear glasses to do this because sometimes I can't get my head far enough away. And yet if I get my head too far away, it feels like it's too far away and I can't see. Do any of you have that problem? I really don't want to have to wear my glasses all the time, but for some things I do find myself, for detail things, I do find myself grabbing them. Oh, I just found some more leaves. That's what happens. Does that happen to you? Comment, missed it. If that happens to you when you're coloring and all of a sudden you're like, wow, I think that I missed some leaves. These are dark flowers, but that bright pink will help brighten it up. See, is that a leaf? Nope, that's a petal. And that's a petal. So going around there, that's a petal. So, is anybody making along with me? I sure trust so. Yeah, you missed it. You've done that. Yeah. Happy birthday, Kitar. Oh, I'll let them know. You want one? You want one? One of the hoodies? Oh yeah, I love the hoodies. I love the hoodie. I wear it a lot, and it's really snugly warm. I love it. I have a feeling my mother might be borrowing it. She'll be swimming in it, but when she comes for graduation and stuff, they're from Arizona, so this is gonna feel still kind of cold to them, even in May, June, because of course they'll be coming from, you know, 80s and 90s. They're in southern Arizona, so it's not as hot. It's not, you know, like Phoenix or anything, but it's still warm. So, all right. So we're getting some of those flowers here. All right, those are covered, those are covered. Let's go back and get those leaves that I discovered. Oops. There we go. Make sure those pop. I'm just going to use really quick the dark. I'm just going to use the dark on these leaves. Gives them a little extra definition. This part there. All right, and now we're going to color the inside. So I'm going to start with the dark, and I'm going to just do the center with the dark. And I'm just kind of touching it up a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and do those lines just like we did for the leaves. We're going to do, oh, I missed part of that leaf too. Here we go. Yeah, once you start coloring, then you discover, oh, that was part of a leaf right there. All right, so let's keep going. So I'm just touching these up. I can't hit all the little lines because these are some fine lines, but I'm just hitting enough to help give it some depth. And then we'll come in with the brighter light and pull it all together. There we go. And make sure this is the light. Yep. And now we'll bring it all together and brighten that up. So this is a pretty paper. I didn't use it as much as I thought I would. Can't tell you why. I have no idea why, but I didn't. And of course now as it's retiring, I'm thinking, oh, I could have used it for this, and oh, I could have used it for that. Do you do that too? Comment same here if you do that too. I do. Now, of course, if you're not an active demonstrator demonstrating the products, you can continue to use this gorgeous stuff. I, of course, only use current products in my lives. Sometimes I'll use stuff that is retired in my scrapbooks, but I tend to only use current product in my lives for obvious reasons. So it's kind of a sad goodbye for me with these colors. Whew, don't lean too close and breathe in deep. The alcohol ink is obvious, right? Have any of you done that? Comment sniffer if you've accidentally kind of sniffed these when you were coloring and thought, whoo, That's some powerful smells there. So I'm just going over it and over it. So I wish these markers were refillable, but they're not. And it's my understanding, I need to find out for sure, but it's my understanding, I don't think the new Stampin' Write markers that they're coming out with, I don't think those are refillable. And I'm super bummed if they aren't, because I really liked the value of them by being able to refill them. So I will be checking on that. I heard tell, but you know, you never know for sure. So I will find out. I'm just going back over this to really blend it in and give it that great pink color. I love this pink. I wish we would have kept this pink. I really love this pink. I would have loved this pink over the Flirty Flamingo pink. Flirty Flamingo is not a pink I use very often. As a matter of fact, I don't even have Flirty Flamingo. I have almost all of the Stampin' Blends, almost all the colors, but I don't have Flirty Pink, Flirty Flamingo, and I don't have Petal Pink. And I don't know if I'm going to ever have them. Not sure. So there we go. We have it all nice and colored. Gives it some nice texture and a nice look. I like how bright it is. It looks really pretty. So now let's go ahead and put it together. You did that the other day with, yeah, oh my gosh. It was like, whoo, don't get your nose in there too fast, too close. All right, so let's go ahead and put this stuff together. All right, I'm not gonna stamp anything on here yet. Let's go ahead and do the front. So I'm going to put this on here using our glue. And just zigzagging it here. All right, making sure my corners and edges are down so they don't come up. You don't want them coming up. That just wouldn't be very fun. All right, and now you want to make sure when you lay it down that you have it over in the right spot so it's not upside down. Of course, you can still place this, so if I did have it upside down, I could turn it. But I want to make sure to have it like that. And then we're going to take this and we're going to put it, hang on, let me think, not yet. Now we want to take our twine and run that around here and tie a bow over here on the side. All right, so we want to just put a bow over here on the edge. Let's see, I got that on the wrong side. Here we go. Let's move that down. So not in the center of your square, but towards the bottom, like that. And the best way that I know how to do that is to take your tip pick tool, grab a glue dot, and put your glue dot where you want your knot to be, your bow. And to me, that's just the easiest way to make it stay put. So I'm going to put that right there. Make sure this comes down a bit. Oh, maybe too far. There we go. And then I'm going to tie the bow. I love how it just stays there. It makes tying your bow so much easier. Now, if you have a hard time tying the bow, then you want to make sure to just tie a bow and stick it down. Oh, that didn't work out. Here we go. Let's try that again. I pulled on the wrong string and that pulled it apart. There we go. There we go. Not too big of a bow, not too little of a bow. There we go. And you have a little bit of string, and then I'm going to cut this one like that. All right, so now we will put the glue on the back of here. So this is a pretty quick and easy card. I mean, the longest part was really the gluing right? I mean, not the gluing, the coloring. Goodness gracious. That's what happens when you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to teach, is you get a little bit wonky by this time of the night. All right, so I'll lay that down. So we have our card here. So it was okay if it went over because you still have some room. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put dimensionals on the back of this. See why you have to have paper underneath to protect? You got to have your scratch paper, because you'll be so bummed if you do this and you mess up your counter. All right. So mine's just contact paper, so I can just change it out anytime I want, but you just don't want to have that messed up. All right, so then we're going to take these off, and we put one in the middle so that there is no sagging. I'm sure you were all saying that. And then we want to turn it around so that it matches up. And we're going to put it right back where it belongs, except that it is lifted and it stands out. So you're spotlighting technique, spotlighting this part of the DSP by bringing out the color of it. Doesn't that look so cool? So I don't think, so you can, I could put a sentiment there. Let's see, I think I do want a sentiment. So I need to find, I think I'm going to use the love and big hugs, because that doesn't need anything. And then I'm going to use the black ink and I'm going to stamp it over here to the right. Love and big hugs. And then I'm going to be putting it here, so I'm going to cut this straight. If you don't feel like you can cut that straight, then you want to make sure to use your trimmer if you don't feel like you can cut it straight. Keep wondering if I should. No, I think that's good right there. I think I'm going to put it up on dimensionals though, because it just looked a little odd sitting there. So we'll put it up on dimensionals like that. Love and big hug. So I used the polished pink to match that, and there we go. Now we'll do the inside. I think I'm going to go ahead, I don't have this stamp set, so I want to use some of the paper. Let's see, we're going to use, did I cut that? Oh, I didn't cut that big enough. Hang on. So this is the paper, and see, I have my 12 by 12 from My Product Share as well, Missy. So we'll use this, and I'm just going to set those out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and put my glue on here. Oh, y'all can't see if I don't unzoom it, right? So we'll do that. Squiggle down the middle, and then I will just cut. I didn't mean to cut that. All right, I'm just going to cut a piece off and put this right here. I love using the DSP for the flap. I think it just adds to the card and to the excitement of your receiver. So I challenge you all to find someone to send this card to that you have made tonight, for those of you that are making, or those of you that come back and watch the replay and then make it. You can do that too. I challenge you to, one, post your picture of your card in the comments and to mail it out to somebody. I'm going to. I'm going to. I am probably one of those worst people because I forget to mail out my stuff. I make them. You know I make them. You see me make them. But I don't always remember to post it or to mail it. So I'm going to use this, and I'm just going to cut a strip to add to the inside. So I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4. Why is that not laying down? 5 1/4. There we go. And then I need to cut this a straight line, because this is the piece that I used for my flap. And then cut another straight line, and I'm going to do it at about 1/2 inch. There we go. And then put, I think it's time for a new blade. Everyone say shred. When your trimmer starts to shred your paper, it is time for a new blade. So then I'm going to put this one right here, like that. And that way it dresses up the front. So when you don't have the stamp set that goes with the paper, which there were a lot of papers this year that I didn't have the stamp set to go with it, but I used the paper like crazy, and I used the paper like this. So on the inside, I did this, on the flap, I did that, on the front, I do that, and then it pulls it all together, and no one's ever gonna know that you didn't have the stamp set that goes with the paper. So don't worry about that. If you like the paper, get the paper. You can do so much with it. So let's go ahead and put this inside like this. And that way I don't have to put a sentiment on it quite yet. On the inside, I just have the love and big hugs. And then when I mail it out tomorrow to somebody, and you can hold me accountable for that. This paper looks almost crooked, but I used the trimmer, but I think it's because of the pattern. All right, so there is our finished card. So now you can do this with making your own DSP and then coloring in your images. First do it in black and white and then color in only what you want to see. And you see how you could use this as you could do a circle, you could do a rectangle, you could do a heart, you could do whatever shape you wanted here to just pull out that one little section of the DSP, color it, and then the rest is black and white. So you could totally make your own if you don't have paper to color. You could totally make your own by using images that you can color in. So let me look, see what I have for samples on that. So you could totally use these. This is the new Cheerful Daisies. So you could totally use these. Don't use this fill in and then make them all black and white and color it in. You could use, what else? You could use this one and not use the color in and just use these. I don't have very many anymore that are not for coloring. You could even do it with characters. And you could do black and white and then pull out the characters and make them pop, and the rest could be in black and white. So lots of possibilities with this. You just have to think about what you want to do. Wow, I'm looking at this thinking, wow, I don't have a whole lot of things to color in anymore. I don't. I might have to get some more flowers that have some big coloring options. I didn't even realize that most of them have all retired. So that's something new. I'm usually so full of flowers that I don't want any more flowers, and now I'm looking and I'm like, ooh, I don't have that many anymore. That's kind of crazy. All right, thank you. Yes, easy peasy. Hello, Covina, very nice to see you on here. Hi, Donna, nice to have you on here as well. Janet, there's a way to refill the blends. There is another way to refill the blends? Wow, I have not seen that. I'll have to check that out. I imagine, Janet, I just need to Google it to find out. They must be adding alcohol to it, I would guess. I know with the blender pens you can use glycerin and I think glycerin and alcohol. I have that recipe somewhere. I haven't done it in a while to refresh your blender pens, and we used to be able to use the re-inkers to fill, or you can use the re-inkers to fill the old Stampin' Write markers. Don't know if it's true that you won't be able to refill the new ones. Yes, you think it was glycerin and re-inker. It's been a while since I saw it. Yeah. Okay, Janet, thanks. I'll have to check that out. That would be interesting if we could refill those. I'm sure there are people out there who maybe have a little bit of chemistry background or something that can figure out how to refill anything to make it last. But once you do that, just know that whatever warranty there was is no longer if you do something like that. But if you can make it last before you have to buy another one. I don't use my Stampin' Blends enough at this point to have to buy new ones. I just have one set of each, almost one set of everyone. Not the Flirty Flamingo, not Petal Pink, but pretty much everything else. I think there's Cajun Craze, I think, is the only other color. Those three colors, I think I have everything else now. So anyways, thank you so much everybody for joining me. Happy to have you on here. I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday morning for Paper Pumpkin Playdate at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. And I will have an email. My goal is to have the email for the Mystery Make-Along out before Thursday, because I leave Thursday for a memorial in Oregon, so I will not be around for a few days. So I will get that out in the mail and in the emails and posted by Thursday, and then I'll do just a little reminder thing to schedule that for Saturday to help people remember, because Thursday's pretty early for that. So yes, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll see you back here Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Time for Paper Pumpkin Playdate. See you then, folks. Bye-bye.